Welcome back to the Global Dynasty YouTube channel. This is a platform for today's society to stay current with celebrity, entertainment, pop culture, and news. This video is meant for entertainment purposes only. Y'all, let's get into it. The Kardashian season finale, episode 10, Here's to Paris. But before we give a review on this episode, we have to do a recap of the season. If I had to rate this season on a scale 1 through 10, I would give it a 5 out of 10. And here's the reason why. We got a dress fitting for Kourtney and Travis when they went to Milan, and after that, you do not see Kourtney much throughout the season. She filled a few scenes, but that's it. Kim continues to find her way in the fashion industry without Kanye. Oh yeah, and she wore Marilyn Monroe's dress to Met Gala. That's all Kim gave this season. Kylie gave us a small snippet, and when I say small, I mean small, snippet of her adjusting to her body after the baby. But that's no surprise because Kylie normally gives the bare minimum. Kris goes through a hip replacement surgery. That's it. And of course, Chloe, she always bears it all. And we get the breakdown of the debacle with her and Tristan. And Kendall, I honestly can't remember what she had going on this season. I think she filled a few scenes and that is it. So you can see why I gave this season a 5 out of 10. And that was me being generous. But let's go ahead and get into the underwhelming season finale. Kim arrives in Paris with North and Kris to walk the Balenciaga Couture fashion show. And this is actually her first time walking this show. So she decides to bring her cousin Cece along. And this is Cece's dream to always sit in the front row of a fashion show, which I kind of find hard to believe because Kendall is a whole runway model. You mean to tell me that cousin Cece's never been to any of those shows? But let me continue with this review. That's another story, another day. Of course, Corey is there to tag along, and we get to see the behind the scenes of her getting ready for the fashion show. And essentially, I think that that's pretty much what the whole season is about, them getting ready for events. And I think that TikTok is a platform where they can easily post that type of content versus recording it and putting it on Hulu. But we'll get to that towards the end of the video. So let me stay focused and you guys stay tuned. Continuing on Kim's trip in Paris, we also get to see some of the behind the scenes from some of the iconic looks that Kim and North both wore while they were in Paris. And we also get to see that moment that Kim came up with the idea for North to wear Kanye's pastel jacket. And that was, of course, a jacket that he wore years ago. And she knew that it would be an iconic fashion moment, which it was when we all saw it. So Kim knew what she was doing there. And something that I find really interesting. So Kim reveals that at the height of Kanye not speaking to her, she called him after he won a few Grammys and asked if she could have them to add to the vote for the children. She says, of course, it is for the children, but I find it funny that even when they're not talking, Kim still finds a way to talk to him and ask him for things that she wants. And if you don't remember, let's go back to the first season of the Kardashians on Hulu. Remember when Kanye got the second sex tape? They weren't really talking then either. Funny. We get to finally see Kourtney and how she interacts with her blended family. There was a scene during this episode where they had a family dinner and everyone was present except for Mason. Kourtney said that Mason refused to come because he had friends over. So I assume he stayed home with his friends. And I'll admit, this scene was very cringy to watch because everyone was literally on their phones and they weren't really speaking much to each other. So I think that we really saw a lot without them saying much. Kylie attends the Billboard Awards to support Travis, and she also brings Stormy along. So we get to finally see a little more of Stormy and how polite she is. And Kylie said that she actually wanted to attend the awards to bring wifey vibes, whatever that means. I think that is very interesting that she chooses now to speak on Travis, and it's a few words and just how she supports him at the Billboard Awards. And I think that if she's going to talk about supporting him, then she also has to speak on that moment about Astroworld. She went mute completely the first season and this season without saying anything or acknowledging that Astroworld even happened, and you're going to support him at the Billboard Awards. It certainly isn't for any music. So what type of support are you giving? At this point, someone on the production should have been real with her. Like, I think the viewers want to hear more from you when it comes to that incident and your feelings behind it. She doesn't have to even speak directly on the incident. She could speak on the aftermath, on what it did to her and what position she had to be in. Because if you all don't remember, Kylie too was out of the limelight. It wasn't just Travis, it was her too. And I think that even whenever it was time to ease him back into society, she helped with that image and making it look like they're a family. So I just find it very interesting that she's very particular with her wording when it comes to Travis. I'll be honest, I was very confused when they inserted this scene with Chloe showing the baby to the family. I think that this scene in particular actually could have been played on the first episode when the surrogate actually had the baby. It was as if they were repeating the same scene again just to fill space. It's as if they didn't have enough footage to fill for the episode. So yeah, I didn't really get much out of this scene because I had already seen it in episode 1 of season 2. The season finale ended with Kylie letting us know that her baby boy's name is still Wolf, and we may get the name reveal in season 3. And honestly, at this point, she can keep that information because it is no longer in demand. And that leads me to the next segment. Is this the end of the Kardashian era? Of course, I don't see the hype of the Kardashians dying down anytime soon, but could this be the end of the Kardashian era for their show as we know it? Let's be honest, everyone is living separate lives, and it's very clear to see at this point. The family rarely films together, and that's something that we're not used to as viewers. When we were first introduced to this family, everyone filmed together and very often. And the fact that we get split scenes where we'll get the duo of Kim and Chloe, or we'll get a Chloe, Chris, and Kim, or we'll have Kylie and Kendall and Kim, but we can't have everyone together. That just seems strange to me when I know that Chris is the manager and she has everyone's schedule, and we've always known that. So she can make that happen. If she wants everyone together, she has the power to do it. No Scott. I'm not sure whose decision, Courtney, it was to keep him out of this season, but I think that it was a bad decision on their end. Scott brings authenticity to the show, which is something that a lot of them are lacking. And I think that the best decision that anyone could do is to bring him back. We would like to see the blended family with Scott and how he interacts with Travis, because at some point they have to get past that. And we want to see it. And honestly, we're tired of the repetitive scenes and the get ready with me's from everyone. We know that you guys do glam. We know that you get ready for events. Let's start seeing the aftermath after the event, or let's start seeing you guys go back on your family trips. Those were the days. The storylines seem very recycled now. Kim is too reserved. She's someone that used to give us everything, and now we barely get anything. I don't know how we went this whole season without grazing the relationship of her and Pete. We didn't even touch the breakup. It's as if he had been completely wiped away. And that's weird. That is very weird for Kim. Kylie and Kendall need to give more. If they're not willing to give more, then it needs to go back to the original three: Courtney, Chloe, and Kim. And they come on as friend ofs. Because at this point, I don't understand why they're included in the promo if they barely give us any scenes. So at this point, we want to know what's next. You guys let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Until next time.